And now, to the millions and millions of listeners and viewers all across the world, it's the That's Not Christian podcast.
Let's
Yo,
go.
yo, yo, yo. What up, y'all? It's your boy Switch. I'm here with your man Jimmy. I'm here with your boy Jay. I'm here with your man Ant. And we got our very, very special guest, Angie Rose.
Let's go.
Welcome.
Our sister's out there traveling, man. She's in the trenches, you heard?
Right.
What's going on, y'all? How was y'all weekend, man? Anything interesting happen?
We had the pagan holiday yesterday. What you mean?
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
Valentine's. Everybody was in love yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
I saw you fellas ain't post y'all wives up, man. What's up with that, man? What's going on, man?
You did it. You did it enough for all of us. Yeah.
I did it. I actually did, but
Your man was spending that stimmy money, right?
Right. Dude was eating lobster. Had all kind of rose petals.
Nah, I don't lobster, man. Come on, man.
He said a little bit of shrimp. A little bit of shrimp, man.
Yeah.
You on that unclean diet, huh? I see you. I see you.
Anything else happened this weekend? Y'all got into?
So for Valentine's Day, right? So I'm in New York for the viewers and the listeners, and they just opened up indoor dining again because of our wonderful state. So
Sound like shots.
I took my wife and my kids to a sushi restaurant that we always go to. It's a buffet. And I made reservations. Yeah. So I made reservations for like 5:30. And then all of a sudden, I called at 1:00, right? Because I wanted to make sure, it's Valentine's Day. Everything usually gets booked, reservation, blah, blah, blah. So I call them up. And they're like, hey, I want to make reservations, 5:30, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool, sir. You just come. What's your number? I give them my number. All right. So we show up. They can't find my name. They can't find my number. Wow. And then all of a sudden, so the indoor seating is limited, and we're waiting. We literally were there for like 2.5 hours.
What?
We only got one appetizer that we ordered, and then one set of the buffet thing that we wanted. Bro,
you really wanted sushi.
Yeah. So my wife, she's like, yo, we got to get out of here. I'm going to go off on them. My kids are going crazy. My newborn's going crazy. So it's like a disaster. So then I'm like, well, babe, they just opened indoor dining. They're struggling as it is already. And they got mad online orders. Yeah. So my wife's like, I was like, oh, you got to show grace, right?
Grace.
And she's like, well, you're too graceful sometimes. And, and I was like, oh my gosh. So then I'm explaining to her, like, listen, they got a lot of people. There's a few cooks or whatever. They have a bunch of online orders. So, she's worked in the restaurant industry, and she's like, no, the kitchen is messing up. They're doing all the online orders first, and they're forgetting all about the people that are in here. We're the ones that are paying our hard-earned money, sitting here, probably exposed to all of this stuff. And it's like, whoa, chill.
For 2 hours, right?
Right? And then my daughter's over here. She wants food. And anyway, point is, our second order of the buffet thing, we were just like, yo, pack it up, charge me, and we got to get out of here. Like, we've been waiting for too long. So the guy, it's just one waiter as well. Yeah, it was a mess. So then at the end, it was just like, let's get our food to go. They put in a bag. They gave us 10% off. They apologized, and then we was on our way, and we came back home, and that was Valentine's for us.
Wow.
Yeah. But am I in the wrong? Like, they're struggling already.
Nah, fam. They need to get it together. What are you talking about?
No, he was wrong.
They just opened indoor dining on Friday.
I don't care, man. 2 hours for some food? Come on, dog.
Forget all of that.
They messed up your reservation, right?
What?
Yeah. They couldn't find me, and then the kid was like, "Oh, who did you talk to?" I was like, "It was a lady. I don't know the name."
All right. That's your bad. Your bad, because I always take a name. I always take a name and write that joint down, bro.
I didn't think there was gonna be an issue.
So aside from the service,
bro,
was the food good?
Oh yeah, of course.
No,
that's what.
Forget all of that. I'm gonna rewind this, right?
Let's go.
This is your bad for going to a buffet place during COVID. Yo.
First of all, right?
You're gonna scratch
You go
all of that out
buffet.
like right now. Like, nah.
I mean,
Yo, that beats
listen, the
McDonald's.
thing is that it's too cold to be outside, and plus we had our kids, so we wasn't gonna do outdoor dining like that.
Yo, we don't even do indoor dining in Cali.
I
Like
don't do
that.
nothing
Yeah,
in Cali.
Yeah, you guys are
exist at
wild.
all.
Yeah, wild.
Yo, like I dropped off my son at work yesterday, and there's no more sidewalk parking like where the restaurants are at.
Word?
Right? Yeah, there's no more sidewalk parking. Like they have those what are they called? K-rails, right? So
Mhm.
they're setting up tables like in the street, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, they really be taking this too far, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
They
That's
bugging.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, you know, buffets open out here. I ain't going to no buffet. Nah, I ain't need nobody's. One
Wait,
sneeze.
it's
and
it's
I
not
might catch a
technic.
charge,
It's
yo.
not It's not technically a buffet. It's just like an all you can eat because they still bring you the food. You're not
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
go
okay,
get it.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
different.
okay,
You
that's
say
cool.
buffet, I'm thinking you standing in line,
No.
person
It
behind you
wasn't like that.
coughing on your neck.
Right,
I mi-
right.
I
Little
miss. I
kid
miss.
going like,
Yeah, reaching
Oh
over,
God, that's disgusting. That's
reaching
I
over.
said, that's disgusting.
Yo, he grabbing his rolls, putting it back with his finger.
right.
Angie, you going to any all you can eat or buffets or anything
I
like that?
definitely just went to a buffet. I'm trying not to laugh.
Let's go.
No.
We're in South Carolina. We're driving back towards New York. So, like, the rules aren't like that. And it definitely said buffet, and we definitely ate it. But there was nobody coughing on our neck. We just bless God. That happened.
You just pray over your food and you good,
Yo,
right?
you gotta pray over the
I
whole.
every time.
Yeah.
You just gotta stand up and just pray over the whole buffet.
The whole place.
Like,
That's
the whole
it.
place.
joint.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Honestly, though.
Nice. Did you guys
I'm not sure how
exchange?
I feel, but it did happen.
Did you guys exchange any gifts? Give your wives any Gorilla Glue or anything like that?
Why? Why would anybody do
Your
that?
wife need gorilla
Some
glue.
edges.
Just the edges, cause you know,
Right.
you just. I mean, ask Jessica Brown. I don't know. She put Gorilla Glue on her head. You know what I mean?
Why?
So allegedly,
For the edges.
Right. So it could be laid.
Her whole head was the edge.
well, allegedly she ran out of hairspray, something called "Got to Be Glue." So I guess that's like some powerful glue.
Nah,
And so
yo.
she picked up the Gorilla Glue and used that instead.
Hold on. Wait.
Yeah, I don't even know how that got mixed up into the bathroom. That should have been in the garage.
How do you? What in your right mind would make you think like, let me go get the Gorilla Glue because it's the exact same thing as the spray?
Bro, I don't know. And she watches kids, yo.
She watches kids too. No.
Look at Angie's face. What?
That's what we thought.
You lying,
Nah, they said she was like a babysitter or daycare, something like.
bro.
For why? For why?
At least if she
She's
would.
like an influencer now, though, bro. So, like, hey,
Right.
she's
Well,
killing it.
she went viral
Of
on
course she went
TikTok,
viral.
and
She should
IG.
have
had-
used Elmer's.
Yeah, she said she used the Gorilla Glue. She washed her hair about 15 times, and that joint is still stuck the same way. Like it didn't move at all.
At all.
That's wild.
That joint like a
Yeah.
helmet.
But now she
Yeah.
famous.
Well, now she's
Yo,
famous. Yeah,
She got a Patreon or something like that, right?
She got to go
GoFundMe?
fund me. She made
GoFundMe for the
over
lawyers,
$20,000.
Nah.
But
And
she
the surgery was free.
and the surgery. was
Nah.
free. Yeah.
Yeah, she got to fly it out to
A
Cali,
black
yo.
doctor, actually. Yeah. He figured out the
Wow.
formula. Yeah.
Beverly Hills plastic surgeon. The procedure supposedly cost $12,000, and it was free for her.
Wow.
Well,
And
I mean, that's a good marketing thing for him.
And
For
also
them.
for them.
the GoFundMe, she's actually donating to someone that works with plastic surgery. So she's not keeping the money. She's actually donating it. And
Oh,
she
that's
got
dope.
a whole bunch of hair products.
Oh,
hair
Been sending her
products.
crazy
Oh,
hair
someone
products. Got to
sent
be
her
glue, send the mad hairspray. Like, yeah, look, just use us going forward, all right? Don't use nobody else, all right? Just use us.
that's crazy. Going to the YouTube comments. What's up, He Bars? Thanks for joining us live here with Angie Rose. But yo, that's wild that
So
this
less.
lady gets hair products, and I bet you she's gonna be in the next Super Bowl commercial or something. Watch, mark this word.
Or the next
Nah,
hair product commercial.
I mean, that's wild. She's gonna be on Pantene. What's the other famous hair products?
Yo, you see the
Herbal
spinoffs?
Lessons. There you go. Herbal Lessons.
Yo, they got spinoffs now though. They're doing the Gorilla Glue challenge now.
Yeah, I saw some jerk doing that. He put it on his. He put a cup to his lip.
Yeah,
I saw that.
They're going far now.
Talking about, I don't believe it. All I could do, he said, all he did was lick his lips and it'll come off.
And what happened?
He got stuck.
And he had to
they had to cut a layer of his lip off. He got to do skin grafts now.
Why are morons doing this? I don't understand. Yo, which one of you fellas is gonna use a Gorilla Glue so we could go viral?
I'm gonna use Gorilla Glue for the house. That's what I'm gonna use it for.
Well, I'm kind of like balding back here, so if I could get like some hair and just
you trying to get the LeBron?
Trying to get that LeBron.
Hey, listen, watch him out, beloved.
Yo, just scalp the side of your beard and then glue that.
That's right. I could cut, like, grow it long, cut it, and then see.
And then boom, and just leave it up like this. Because it's your beard, you gonna let it grow, right?
I have the alfalfa. I have the alfalfa joint.
Yo, this your man. Check it out.
That's him right there.
No.
Yeah, that's him. He talk about his garbage.
I can't hear that.
No. I don't think you should put the volume because we don't know what he's gonna say.
I don't know if he gonna let one out.
You wanna let one out?
I don't know if he will. I don't know.
Is that Gorilla Glue?
That's Gorilla Glue.
That's a little joint.
Look,
yo,
he gonna
put it on. Look, fast forward.
Look.
Yo, you wrong for laughing. That's not Christian, man.
No.
Look at that picture. Yeah.
He went. He got his hands up.
Why? Nah. Oh man.
Good,
man, you gotta have faith like that, man.
Oh wow, look at her. She getting it. Whoa.
Yeah, she cried after. I feel bad for her. You know, I mean,
wait, why'd she cry?
Because they finally took out the hair and everything.
Like a month, yo. She had it for
like a month. Yeah.
Whoa.
And then she got Earl for this surgery, and they took care of it. I mean, I do feel bad. I mean, regardless of the foolishness of doing that, like I do feel bad. Like that, yo. Like that's just one of those things you regret. Like, yeah.
Of course.
I mean, it's like 5 seconds to spray it and a month to get it off. That's a sermon right there. That'll preach.
Oh, I want to know how she did it though. Oh,
yo, we got some sermons now,
right?
She said that'll preach.
How quick you can ruin your life, right?
Right.
But at the same time, she going viral, man. So you know. Maybe who knows? This could open some doors for her, right? Yeah.
Clout ain't worth it, man.
Clout is not worth it.
It's not worth it, bro.
It's not worth it, bro.
What else?
I mean, it depends.
It depends.
This guy.
Yeah, it depends. I mean,
you sound like 6'9" right now.
Right. There's always that one.
You're not from Queens.
What's the thought?
You're not from Queens, bro. You're from Brooklyn. You're from Brooklyn.
Nah.
What's your thought? What?
Listen, if they offer you, because you did something stupid, offer you a couple million. I mean, listen, that money could go a long way for the Lord.
The Lord don't need your money. Right. The Lord needs your money. He's like, yeah, the Lord needs $1 million for you to work, do his ministry, do his work.
That dude looking at Gorilla Glue right now is behind the camera. He's like, what I'm gonna do with this?
Like right here, right now.
He's gonna put his headphones.
Let's make the podcast pop.
Right.
Let's go. Let me start putting it on now.
That's crazy.
Nah,
man.
Not worth it.
I don't know. Y'all wilding.
Yeah, man.
Did
you guys
in the comments?
Yeah, shouts out to Josh. Did you guys hear about man, this one stings, the whole Ravi Zacharias situation?
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So allegedly, so Christian Today had put out they had put out the article about these allegations that were going on. Um, and so they had like a law firm, like a private, right? It was like a private law firm that did their investigation, and the allegations turned out to be true, and it actually turned out to be worse than what the initial allegations were. There was something that they found in his devices, like over 200 pictures of women. Some of them were young women who had nude pictures.
Damn.
There was also abuse of massage therapists. Um, just a lot of stuff. Just basically like
it's deep.
stuff that we when we first heard about it, we were like, nah, Ravi, nah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and,
I would definitely.
And yeah, so the reports came out to be true. And first off, let me say, my condolences, especially to his wife. You know what I mean? Because
facts.
Not only did he pass recently, but to hear this after his passing, I mean that pain is it must be a lot. You know what I mean? To think that someone that you knew and someone who's probably uplifted you, and I mean he's blessed all of us in some kind of way. You know what I mean? From the books that he's wrote and things like that, and to know that he had this secret and this double life. My condolences to his family for real,
and the victims too.
The victims too. Right?
Yeah.
It's definitely sad to hear, and yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, in 2017, so what happened was, so this is my thing with the whole situation. 2017, that's when it kind of first popped off, where the allegations came out. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah, the lady.
There was this lady saying that he was acting inappropriately, and she was demanding $5 million or something like that, something ridiculous like that. And then we all kind of downplayed it because we were like, yo, this is extortion, right? Like, this is somebody that just wants money, right?
Right.
And then it comes out later on, right, that all these things seem to be true. But at that time, even Ravi had denied it and said, nah, I did not do anything inappropriately. You know what I mean? Which, again, once they did the investigation, that was found out to be true as well.
Right. Even the ministry made a statement, right?
Yeah, the ministry made a statement saying that the allegations were true. And so I got an early scripture for us, right? Because I know we usually do scripture today at the end of the show. But the word of the day is Proverbs 28:13. Let me check it on my phone. Sorry. And this is the ESV version. Don't stone me, all right?
That's the extra save version. Why would we stone you?
So Proverbs 28:13 says, whoever conceals his transgression will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. And I feel like
Proverbs 28:13.
Yes, that's correct. And I feel like at that time, when Ravi got exposed, that was his opportunity to really come forth and say, yo, this is what I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And instead he kind of hid his sin and put it to the back burner, like, hey, it is what it is. Now, I'm gonna say something else too. I'll say this. We know that in the Bible, we know Solomon, right? Who was a wise man. And as the Bible says, that towards the end of his life, he started worshiping idols and falling for foreign women. So I know some of us, because it stung me. I was like, man, how could that happen? Like, that dude was so encouraging. That dude had wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So I can never downplay the wisdom and the stuff that he was teaching on and
right. Yep.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't always reflect somebody's life. You know what I mean?
He's still a man.
You know what I mean? That doesn't always reflect how we live. You know what I mean? It's not practice what it's practice what you preach, right? So
I got a question for you. What do you think? What should we do with his books, his sermons, his everything that he's left here?
What do you mean? What we do? You want to burn them or something?
Well,
that's what some people are saying.
Yeah, I heard some of the publications are removing his books.
Nah, I mean, I get it with that whole, with the situations with the victims and everything, but in the end, man, he was still a man, right? You know what I'm saying? everybody has that something they struggle with, and obviously that was his. I mean,
I think it's bigger than that, though,
far.
bro.
Yeah, I mean,
he was a predator, man. Like that's different than like struggling, like you know what I'm saying?
Saying
like
he had an issue, right? He had an issue,
right.
but does that take away from the fact that God used him?
No,
in
no.
you know what I'm saying? Like
No,
we
that
know
doesn't.
he had issues. He's a man. Man has issues. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, well, Paul killed people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he didn't do it while he was preaching, but you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can be used a certain way, and I feel like that don't take away from what he spoke. Obviously, he had issues, but I mean, it's. But that's where we at now, right? In this world.
I agree with Jimmy. I think it's a. I mean, because there was Jay probably knows because he was watching, right? That he was funding some of the ministry money into like the females, like, you know what I mean, for these sexual activities.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So and at one point one he told one girl, like, if you say anything, so many souls are going to be lost, so don't say nothing. Like using scripture as
that's manipulation, bro. That's that's predatory, son.
The only thing I can say about that dude is, man, I hope and pray that he confessed all of this prior, you know what I'm saying, knowing that he was gonna die, or he spoke to somebody or something, because bro, we already know what happens to those that lead a flock.
Yeah.
I think and James talks about that, you know, those who teach will be judged more strictly. You know what I'm saying? And so like I've been blessed by his ministry, you know. But this is hard, man. This is like difficult to process, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there's a lot of people who are victims, you know what I'm saying? And so to continue to have his, I mean, it's no different than it's worse than Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. You saw they got banned from the platforms.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's what I was leading to. Like, because of where we are now, you know that's gonna happen. They're gonna remove any and everything related to him. But again, like going back, right? Like you said you've been blessed with, you know what I'm saying? So at that time, he could have been doing whatever he was doing, but that word was for you at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't remove that from that, you know what I'm saying? But again,
well, it's like what Christ said about the Pharisees. He says, you know what I mean, do as they say, but don't live as they live. You know what I mean? They live a certain way, they act a certain way, but don't live like that. You know what I mean? They hypocritical. They say one thing and live another life. My thing is, can we say that these females were victims as well? Because I feel like we never mentioned that, right? Like, I don't. As far as them being victims, like what is considered victims? Like, are they both part of
Bro. Yeah, Angie zeroing in on you.
Angie, I don't know what you think, but I'm saying because it wasn't a one-sided thing, you know what I mean? It was like, so are they victims per se? Like they were.
You're asking me to.
You got to clarify.
You're asking me to identify whether she felt like a victim.
Whether
somebody that hired her to do something, and then asked her to do something else when she was in a room beyond her. You're asking that?
No, what are you asking?
No, I'm asking because we say that they're victims, right?
You mean the ones that were actually doing stuff with him?
With him, right? Correct. Like,
you know what? I think it was a broad statement because they had there was actual rape, and then there was.
Well, yeah. If this that, then yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's how they kind of with the article.
There's emotional. I mean, I think ultimately it's just the standard. It's almost irrelevant. I mean, if I'm gonna speak at all, which I did. If I'm gonna speak on it, I'm gonna say that if he spoke truth, then absorb the truth he spoke. Remember the God that gave him the inspiration. Separate the man. Mm-hmm. It's up to a publisher, it's up to a user, it's up to the consumer to decide what you want to do with his book and his name. But the truth of what he spoke, and if it's true, if it adds up to math, then use it. If it doesn't for you, then throw it out. But I mean, we can't do it because we know that he took the time to dive into something. It's also clear that he was tempted beyond what he could absorb. and it would have been a saving grace to open his mouth.
Yeah.
But he couldn't see that, and I mean, I feel bad for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah,
So
man. And
everybody's
this is
a victim, including him, because ultimately the battle's not against flesh and blood. It's against principalities. This man was a leader in the kingdom, in the community. He led us to things. We heard him speak about light, even though he was in darkness. And ultimately, it just reminds me to pray for the people that speak, for the people that try.
Man.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's real.
Exactly.
That's real, man. And yo, and yo, when God, and let me tell y'all something, man. When God exposes stuff, because I've been exposed before. Don't run. That's God giving you. You know what I mean? When you getting exposed for something,
that's the just gravity.
Yeah,
that's God telling you, shape up.
Yeah. Here's a chance to come clean, right?
Shape up. That's what happened to David, right?
To be clean, not to come clean. To be clean, confess your sins
Right.
to the ones that are gonna handle your sins properly, but be clean.
Right.
That's right. Everybody, like, if we're gonna talk, we could talk, because everybody think they got the right to be in everybody else's business. But he did have an accountability. He did have a circle. He did have, and that's where he had the saving grace to speak and get the power of grace to live different. The iron and iron. You gotta acknowledge the iron around you. Use it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's like David, right? David had Nathaniel, right, who came forth about his sin and
all of them. Yeah.
John, you know what I mean? Like it was just like, yo, this is wrong. You're being exposed. And it was up to David to say, to continue living that way, or to say, nah, Lord, forgive me. You know what I mean? Because first you got to confess to God before you confess to anybody else. What you doing. You got to get that out.
And it's crazy how much like nonsense we would avoid if we would just do that. If we would be honest enough to be like, yo, God, I'm fronting to everybody. Let me at least throw it down with you and be like, help me. Like I try to be that real with God. Yo, I don't know what to do with it. Take it.
Yeah.
You see what Josh said?
Josh on YouTube says, keep the focus on the message more than the messenger, in that people tend to idolize some leaders as if they have it all together. Keep them lifted.
Amen.
Facts.
Wow.
All right. So I'm glad we talked about that. We touched on that.
Yeah. Whew. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that was that stung, man. You know what I mean? Because
that's definitely
we've all been some kind of way of affected. You know what I mean? Through Ravi and his ministry.
Yeah. You know who else got stung?
Who?
Dave Ramsey.
Wait, what do you mean? What happened with Dave Ramsey, bro? What are you talking about?
Dave Ramsey being Dave Ramsey. That's all.
See, but I'm gonna agree with what he has to say.
What he said.
So anyway,
of course you are.
Of course.
Yeah. Just listen.
What he said?
He's on Fox News, right? And they're talking about stimulus and they're talking about all of this stuff. And he pretty much says, if $600 or $1,200 changes your life, you got bigger issues.
Right. That's facts.
Wait. But who said it changes your life?
Well, people are saying like, oh, I need this money to survive or to live or any of this stuff. And granted, there could be people that do need it, you know.
I need it for
people.
There are people, yes. There are people that do need it. Like this, we're talking about like life or death. They're not gonna be able to put food on the table for their family, you know. But people are making it seem like as if the government is your saving, you know, is your savior, and it's gonna, you know, give you all this money for you to stay home and do whatever you got to do, and like as if you don't have to go out and get what you got to get, you know.
That's not what he said. That's not. He ain't say all of that. He ain't break it down like you just said.
So what did he say?
He said what you said. He was like, if you feel like $600 is gonna save your life, you're an idiot.
An idiot.
Right.
That's what
isn't it facts?
You lost your mind. No.
Huh?
No.
That's it. He ain't break it down. Come on, yo. Yo, Dave Ramsey could say that. He could, come on, yo. He got money. He could say all he want.
But I think he's in a position because he was bankrupt. He didn't have any money. He didn't have anything like that.
I think we gotta remember. I think we gotta remember the situation that we're in. Like we're in a pandemic.
Right.
Like this is not normal. This is not everyday life. Like,
and he's speaking as a rich man in the pandemic, as opposed to someone in the projects who still, there's people here in Atlanta that still haven't gotten their unemployment check from last March.
Right.
Nah.
It's a fact
What?
because they were
That's
so
crazy.
backed up that they were so backed up that although they went and made the claims, they still haven't received their unemployment checks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these same people, you telling me that they can't use $600, $1,400?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Dave Ramsey sounds stupid.
Oh, Adam, dog. You got that smoke, huh?
Wait, one more time, because we trying to go viral. One more time.
Stop it. Stop it.
I mean, listen, I like what he said, but I agree totally with Ant. Like his approach, it's being a little insensitive because they're waiters that are these people are being forced to not work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not working right now because I'm forced because of all the lockdowns. You know what I mean?
You can't use $600 right now.
I'll always use 600. I could do 14. You know what I mean? I might buy me some Jordan. Nah, I'm just playing.
No.
But,
and that's the other thing too, Go ahead. No, go. But what?
But so even my father's been in this company for 20 years. Company goes bankrupt. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that's a director, 6-figure earner. You know what I mean? These are people that invested their careers. They went to school. Some of these people, you know what I mean? This is what what their life, and you know what I mean? And financially they're good as well. You know what I mean? Because supposedly we're supposed to save money for 6 months, but this thing is going on to a year now. You know what I mean? So I understand what he's saying. Yes, $600, $1,200 is not going to change or save nobody's life, but it can help. It definitely could help individuals who are struggling. You know what I mean? And we always got to remember the poor because the Bible speaks about that. The poor are going to be with you forever. You know what I mean? You're not going to eliminate poverty. You know what I'm saying? That's always going to be around for whatever reasons. You know what I mean? It could be different reasons, maybe because they put themselves in that position or because of whatever it may be. But
I get like you said, I get what he's saying. It's just I think it's the way he said it. It came off insensitive, and I think that's why he got so much flack for it. It was because he said it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could have explained that a little bit better. But again, he speaks as a rich guy in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? He was, he did buy some people some cars, right, recently.
Yeah.
So this last Christmas, what they did was they paid off people's student whatever loans that they had, like with collections or whatever. He worked with a debt collecting company and paid off, I don't know, a couple millions of dollars of stuff for people. Yeah.
And that's dope.
That's one thing I appreciate about Dave. Like Dave is on, you know what I mean, when it comes to getting rid of the debt, you know what I mean? I heard stories of people that are changing their lives by getting into his program. Mm-hmm. But I just think we need to remember this situation is a little different than what we thought. You know what I mean? What did Josh say?
Josh says, but isn't Dave Ramsey's whole point in ministry to work with people that aren't rich to help those do better with money, to help get people financially fit? Yes. Yeah.
Yo, AI said, what's up, Angie?
Yo, I'm serious.
So back to Josh's comment. It is. I mean, I went to the Dave Ramsey program. We got out of debt, all that stuff.
That's why you agree with him.
I mean, I agree with him to that extent that you shouldn't be relying on the $600 or the $1,200 or whatever the amount is going to be from the government to help you. To help you.
He exposed your responsibility in your situation, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like as far as like why you were in debt, why you didn't have any savings or whatever the case was, he exposed that, right?
You see AI, my bad. I'm laughing at AI.
Yo, come on, man. We laugh. Nah, it's fine. Forget Josh's comment. But yeah, go ahead, Jimmy. My bad.
Nah, I'm just saying, like going through his program, that exposed, like that showed you a lot where your mistakes were, right? As far as like spending, where your money was going, whether it was eating out or whatever, when it allowed you to be responsible for your finances. And I get that. I totally get that. And I think that's the place where he was coming from, just in context of what his ministry does, I don't think he was like on some like, I mean, you do got worse problems if you're expecting that $600 check, man. Like I think that this whole thing that happened in the last year kind of exposed to everybody. Like, look, you're not necessary. You know what I'm saying? In our society, like the government says, like, look, you own a restaurant, okay, you can stay open. You own a gym? Nah, we don't need you in society. Like, we don't value this in society. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and just close your shop down, you know, and hey, sorry. You know, that's kind of like what happened. So in a sense, when he says like you got bigger problems, you kind of do.
I agree.
You kind of do have bigger problems. Like, you need to change your trajectory as far as your career, because if you continue to work in this job where the government can say that, you know, you're not necessary, you're not an essential worker, this can happen 2, 5, 10 years down the line. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be a problem. You know, I mean, that's just how I saw it. But I guess,
well, people kind of had to adapt, right? It was like you had to adapt to what was going on. And
for sure,
my thing is, there's people that have dedicated their lives into whatever career field that they were going to be in, and then this hits. You know what I'm saying? And you
wake
adapt.
up call.
Now
Alarm,
you gotta
wake up.
Now you gotta get it. Now you gotta use your car for Uber. You know what I'm saying, or whatever it is that you need to do to get by. You know what I mean?
But not only that, Switch, right? There's people. You know what I'm saying? Again, when you're somebody, I totally see what y'all saying about Dave Ramsey, but that's not what he said. He said you're an idiot if you're waiting on $600. Point blank. He ain't break nothing down, nothing. So my thing is, what you saying, Switch? There's people who weren't essential workers. There's people that their whole life was to build a coffee shop or a restaurant, and they got shut down. That was their dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right.
And they got shut down. So you saying, like, you know what I'm saying? That same person who built that could have been relying on that extra money. So I think it's incentive.
and they still got bigger problems than that $600 check, dog. Bro, if they've been waiting since March,
I don't think
money from the government,
bro. I don't think they've been waiting. But if you telling me, especially if you live in bum California, where you can't even,
why I gotta be Cali though, man? Why you being so disrespectful right now, son?
That's respectfully. Have a restaurant right now,
yo. These Brooklyn dudes is different, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, like, you can't even have a restaurant. So that's what I'm saying. So places like that, yo, they dreams is done. Like, so what do they do now? That was they.
So you got bigger problems than a $600 check.
Okay.
I mean, I know they got.
I get his point. I get Jimmy's point. Jimmy's just saying you got bigger problems aside from the $600.
That $600 check isn't gonna pay your mortgage.
What we're saying is,
for your coffee shop, it's not gonna pay your mortgage for your house. It's not gonna pay your car note. You got bigger problems.
What we're saying
I understand.
Go ahead. It's not about. Like Josh said, you know, you have bad financial habits. That doesn't always mean that. Like, there are people that are really in bad situations. Like I said, they couldn't adapt to what happened. Right. You know what I'm saying? Us, you know what I mean?
No, I get that.
It's real. We adapted. We'd be like, oh, I'll do Instacart, I'll do this. I got to get it how I got to get it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But some people couldn't, because this is what they put their whole life into. You know what I mean?
Word, Josh. Exactly. He's talking about answer part of my back. But
yeah.
But shouts out to Dave Ramsey, man. He's doing his thing. He got a very good program.
Shout out to Dave Ramsey.
Shout out to Dave Ramsey, because
shout out to Dave Ramsey.
I told my wife the day before, was a Saturday. I was like, yo, you want flowers and all that stuff, or you want the cash so you can invest it in the stock market? Said,
let's go.
Give me the cash.
Dave Ramsey got to do with that.
Cash.
What Dave Ramsey got to do with that?
He got a whole lot to do with that. He's all about investing.
Because you made a good financial decision as Dave Ramsey.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yep. That's right. Why you mad though?
Why you mad?
Why you mad? Why you mad?
Credit to Dave Ramsey, yo. Now everybody spiritual or financial leader, Dave Ramsey. Get out of here, yo. You did something good with your money, yo. Beat it.
Wow. So, man, enough about Dave, man.
Yo, no, we're not done. We're not done.
What do you mean we're not done?
I like this. I like Ant's energy, man. We going viral.
We'll keep that same energy.
Exactly. Stock market investment all day. Yeah.
Look. Josh says my wife and I chose a cheap
See?
wedding so we can buy a house to own.
See?
LOL. Hashtag
Dave
Dave
Ramsey.
Ramsey. Let's go.
Nah, Josh, you made a
Let's
good
go.
financial decision between you and AI, yo.
Let's
Stop
go.
giving Dave Ramsey
Hashtag
props,
Dave
yo.
Ramsey.
AI says stock market investment all
Let's
day.
go.
Gang.
Dave Ramsey.
Exactly, they did with Dave Ramsey.
Except
Dave Ramsey.
AMC. Don't invest in AMC.
Oh, just
Nah.
you wait.
Don't
Anyway,
do
AI
that.
gave us a stock tip, remember?
Y'all heard
She's
about?
not a financial advisor, but she gave us a stock tip.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That plug power took
Y'all
off.
know me. I'm paper hands, man.
yeah, that's
All
right.
day. That's your Wu-Tang name.
I'm not invested. I'm getting out of there.
Yeah,
Just-
go ahead, get out of
Just
there.
don't listen
We
to
don't need
Dave
you.
Ramsey.
Man, so what's going
Don't listen
on?
to Ant.
Yo, this dude, you want to go take an apple to Dave Ramsey, don't you?
You gonna send it from Atlanta?
This guy, where he at? He not here?
I know he's in Tennessee. He's close
All
to
right.
you.
Yeah.
You know what,
All
man?
right, we gotta get to Angie.
You know what? Let's just
Angie,
talk
like,
about
I don't want
Angie,
to talk
man.
about none of this.
Let's
Right.
talk about what Angie got going on. Angie, what's up, man? What we got? Well, Angie dropped her recent album, right? Out in January. Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Is it EP or
EP,
album?
EP,
Okay, EP.
EP.
Because I
I
figured that
don't let you put or iTunes. Everything just says album. But
album.
yeah.
Okay, EP. So how's been the
Album next though, and
how that
that-
response has been?
I'm excited. I have zero problems with how fans have responded. Just to see people be able to like watch me switch, I think so much over the last 2 years. Like I've just done all these different things, and people have kind of just rode with me. So I'm grateful. I think this is the truest me, if I'm honest. Like I love to be able to rap and just get in there. This project was emotional. The pandemic started. I went from, like I said in a post, like I was traveling. Now I'm traveling again. But
Yeah.
when pandemic first started, I went from literally being everywhere to being completely stuck. I don't know how to record like that in my house, so like that wasn't fun.
Oh man.
And then, like, out of nowhere, God just blessed me with an amazing team of people that just believed. I got in the studio with Chris Liggio, who is the guy that made all these beats. And literally, it was like 5 days of writing. It was like going back to mixtape days. But in that time, again, it was like off beats from who's still my like behind the scenes shooter, Zombie X's brother. But this time, it turned into just being able to pull up. And I sat on the same couch that I'm sitting in to do the new stuff. And we just
Right.
had fun for 5 days. And that's what this became.
So it took you
now I'm
5
excited
days
to
to
do it
write
again.
all of that. It took you 5 days
Yeah.
to write all of that. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you just
Yeah.
lock in the studio? Was it like day and night?
It became so we have this whole new process that like I just go in there and I do what I'm doing and then I leave. Like, and so whatever happens in that day happens. Like literally we could play a beat for like 2 hours and I'm just inspired by that, and then all of a sudden I'm bored and we start something new. But there's a limit, and then I don't listen to nothing. Like I leave with whatever was fire in my head, and I'm like trying to learn that and see, like, I feel like if it's good it should stick. So if I leave and I still remember, then I'm excited about it. So that's now
Yeah.
what we did for that and what I'm gonna just keep doing. I also
Nice.
get to edit myself, which is fun. When I'm talking a little too crazy, like, Angie, for real, you're violating. So I get to like,
Well, you sound like us when we potted.
oh yeah, right.
Y'all getting crazy now.
Except
So-
we can't edit because we live.
Yeah, there's no editing. So what was the unstoppable theme? Like why that particular album title?
Yeah. It worked out, to be honest. I have had all these projects in mind since I started. Some people know I was just a college kid when I started, and I ended up doing like freestyles over these throwback beats or whatever. And Unstoppable was like the first song I ever really wrote, like the first song that had 2 verses and a bridge and all that stuff. And that's like back in the day. So it was kind of just revisiting the idea that like that's still true, that's still my truth. I didn't feel good, and so I was like, what has been the thing that I've been saying for years that has reminded me to keep going? And it was that. And so I just figured I could say it again. So I called it
right.
that, Unstoppable, do it
Right.
again. But we also like samples. We had Ready or Not was one of the samples for Angels. So when that song starts and it's like, this is a song that made me want to rap, it was because that was the sample in the background. For Unstoppable Do It Again, we had One More Time. So that sample was one more time that like
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
pulling. So just falling in love with music has been fun. Like there was I didn't grow up understanding even what Christian or secular music was outside of content. And so being able to just love the songs I've loved and be free with the art is like changing me. I feel like it's
Wow,
fun.
that's dope. Heat
As
Bar
a
says,
well, not
Angie,
graduate.
you're a Nyack College graduate, right?
No, like I went there though for sure.
She went there. All
No,
right.
yeah, that's where everything started. I was a philosophy student. And to be honest, the expenses were crazy. I was working in Buffalo Wild Wings, and I just wasn't studying. I started getting booked for shows. Like I did Flavor Fest, and I was like, yo, I'm like making money now. I'm leaving because I can't afford it. And
Let's
then
go. You
yeah,
adapted.
now we're
Let's
here.
go.
Yeah, there we go. Fast.
Yeah, let's go. That's dope. Um, w- what clicked for you at that moment from working in the restaurant industry to be like, other than the money and all that, you're making more money, but what clicked that it was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this now. Like this is my chance.
I have no idea. I think I just knew. Well, not new. I think I just believed for the first time that it was possible. I always wanted to be like in music. I always wanted to sing. I've always had people tell me that I could do these things. I was rapping in middle school. But like that's not what we believed could happen. Like Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx, like it's like you have to think to be educated. You have to, that's not the dream. That's the hobby.
Mm.
And then it was like I left church and I had done all these things, and finally God brought me back to Him. I went to a Christian college. All of a sudden, I'm rapping again, and people want to help me make music. And it was like, yo, if this is a shot, then I got a couple years to take it. Might as well just run. So I
Yeah.
So
did,
everything was like,
and I
everything fell in
just
place.
I know, but I I just learned to keep running. I just started, bro. This is a real life, right? If I'm telling you the truth, I don't know sometimes why I still do music outside of the fact I think God gets the glory, um, and I love it. I've been able to do things and see, let's see if that charged up, and see God move.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, nothing
Nope.
fully falls into place, but the grind doesn't stop, and then the love just grows every single opportunity I get to do it again.
Dope.
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 So now I had seen something, or were you affiliated with Truce or like rolling with Truce? Like what's that story? Like what's that
Yeah,
background?
I did 2 trips with Truce. We went to Michigan and Ohio, and that was just like I think a week or 2 weeks traveling with other rappers and singers. Sorry, and doing evangelism. So I learned a ton there. Like a lot of the things that we learned there, I was able to use in Puerto Rico when we went back. Truth was a huge lesson.
Yeah, shouts out to them. They've been doing ministry for a long time. David
Right.
Ham, the whole Nikki Cruz, and
Yeah.
yeah, they've been doing a lot of ministry, man. Dope stuff. So now I also read that you're signed to a label, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of like the pros or the cons of being a Christian and also kind of being on a label? Like, is there things that you see from when you were independent and you kind of were, you created your own music, your style, your way, and then now being under a label, like, do they give you that creative freedom, or is there like, oh, you don't say this or don't say that, you know what I mean?
Thank God, my label, the team closest to me is actually Christian. Um, so we
Nice.
don't really have to. We don't have too many problems. But they do ask me to stretch my bounds, which I think is fun. They've asked me to create the themes or to movies, and that's so. For example, "Fight Like a Man" was actually a bigger track, right? If you pay attention, the video is huge, right? Like that wasn't Angie from the block. That was like superhero. And I'm like, okay, how do I make this big music but still keep myself? And really what I decided to do was kind of paint the story of Elijah, which was calling down fire from heaven. So my temperament gets fired, you come down, like, and Moses. And I just started to have fun and be able to see God in everything. I think my pen is getting sharper. in telling the exact truth that I want to tell. But I'm also having a lot of fun with like the bigger picture too.
Dope.
It's all good.
Yeah, that's what's up. Josh says, I remember Angie doing some stuff for Puerto Rico when they got devastated by the hurricane and working with local community Century. I believe. How is that going?
Really good. We actually were in Puerto Rico about 3 weeks ago. There's a school that we're dealing with that has about 268 students. They're looking to get iPads. So that's a move we want to make. We're still working. We're still trying to figure out next steps. We're literally still trying to plan a mission trip. Obviously, due to COVID, there's different things that we have to do and things that we have to learn. But yeah, none of that stops. Serving is just taking on a new name. Like you guys spoke a little bit about, finances and all that stuff, and I think that's been huge. I think just being able to bring that access, because we can make fun of people that don't know what to do with their money, but like also think if somebody's living check to check, and this is just to throw out an idea, if they're living check to check because that's what they make, but have learned enough to budget, then what if we took that $600 and taught them how to invest it? Taught them how to flip it, taught them how to make that 600,
right.
400
Or
over time.
you can't be like
That's the-
like Switch and buy Jordans and stuff like that.
Hey, yeah. But yo, some people really
Unless
don't
you're gonna
know
flip
that
it.
that's real. Some people don't even have enough value to realize that, like the immediate pleasures. Like there's so many things that we want to do now, and that's just by figuring out how to talk to the people in a real way. I want to be more engaged with youth and adults, like because our people perish for lack of knowledge because they don't even look for it. Like we don't finish. We don't.
You know what's dope that I noticed? Like, you're like always, like the Bible says, like, what I mean, always speaking gracious about situations and always having that like positive outlook and that, taking just kind of that high road of what's the positive that can come out of that situation rather than what's the evil or the negative. You know what I mean? So that's pretty dope, man. Goes with the Angie Rose, right?
Yeah, it's the hardest thing though, because if you think about it, like they always say, check on your happy friends. Like in order to get to the highest star, you have to fight the lowest ones consistently. You have to determine to say, I'm not going to believe that that's what's happening. I'm going to choose to aim higher.
Yeah.
Like make it the only option, and that's hard as heck.
So you came to meet the Lord at a young age, then, right?
I fake was born in church. If I tell you the truth, like my parents started the church the week I was born. They're pastors.
Wow.
But that don't do like being in church. But my mom used to say, being in Israel don't make you an Israelite. Being in church don't make you a Christian. But I mean, if I'm honest, I think every single story in the Word resonates with what I've seen in me. There's not been a time that I didn't know that God was good. But there's been so many times that I acted as if I didn't know. And so the new, not the new, but like the goal should be to make your life the reputation of God. So it's just daily trying to get there. And realizing that after all this time, I'm still just an infant pacing, right? All the things I can quote, right? Rob, we already spoke about people that can quote and teach, but like, can you stop yourself from saying that mean thing when somebody, makes you feel that?
Right.
Can you
Yeah, it's easy.
No
it's easy to look holy. It's very
really
easy to look holy in front of everyone
really
and quote scriptures.
And there's no benefit. It's plastic surgery instead of workout, and it's not that's do your thing. Hey, live your life, but like, bruh, your health doesn't determine your look. Doesn't determine your health.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, that's good stuff, man. We appreciate you for coming on the show. You're out in where are you right now? Are you touring or are you traveling?
Yeah, I'm traveling. My parents and I did a little road trip. We were doing some work, meeting some people in Tampa and Orlando. New projects that we want to do, new youth that sing and rap and serve. And we just want to see activation. So figuring out how to do this thing.
That's what's up. Is it going to be a busy year this year for you as well? Musically?
I'm praying. Oh, musically, move.
Yeah.
Like that's I'm okay. So I did all that to drive out, and now I'm driving back, and I get to New York Wednesday and Thursday studio, Friday studio, Monday we're working. It's just like
let's go.
It's time.
Right.
I think we're in the pace finally. and I think I can tell the truth. Like, not that I was lying before, but like I'm just I get it. I feel like I know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dope.
That's what's up. You have any artists in CHH that you would like to work with? Anyone that you've like, yo, I really want to work with this artist right here?
Yeah, so conversations happen all the time, and then life or something always like dissipates the possibilities. But like AI has been we've been like
Let's
working on a
go.
record in our head for like 2 years. It hasn't one day. We've been talking. I like Jekka Soul. I think she's amazing. She's so kind. We've actually met and had coffee because I think that's better than like everything else in the world. Like, let me see what it looks like in just one on one. So I'm just There's a ton of people out there. I mean, I can name all day, but those are the. I mean, as far as the ladies, it's time for.
It's time for the ladies to get together, do that cipher, right?
all that beyond ciphers. Like, there's music. Like, one day can write like pop
right.
music too. Her melodies are crazy. AI's pen is so, like, the flow, cadences that like, bruh, it's just time for those things to be.
That's what's up, man.
Like,
all right,
Dope.
y'all.
Yeah. So Angie, where can people find you? Where can people find you? How can they support you? Let them know everything.
Okay, so it's Angie Rose Music with a K.com. So Angie Rose, like the flower, MUSIK. And that's website, Instagram, Facebook, social media. We're actually looking at just launching a Patreon to show a little bit more of the things that are happening, like when I'm on the road with family and with friends, like inviting people into the knowledge too. But I want to know what I'm talking about before I talk. You feel me? So we're launching with a team that is aware. So look out for that.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. Switch, you got a word of the day?
I did it earlier.
We did it
Yeah, I
already.
dropped
for
it
Ravi.
earlier. Yeah, I had to drop that. Well, Proverbs 28:13, man.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for listening to audio only listeners. Make sure you leave those reviews on Apple Podcast. Those of you streaming on Spotify, thank you so much. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you so much. Any product, service, or anything, any information about Angie will be linked in the description below. We are the fastest growing Christian podcast. And with that being said, also, we are now streaming on God's Music Radio officially. So if anybody is out there listening on God's Music Radio, thank you so much. So we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks again. Hit that subscribe. Don't forget to get your merch. Shop that'snotchristian.com. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.